Yeah. So welcome to SQL awareness session. So in this session today we are going to discuss each and everything regarding the SQL. Okay. So here in this session we are going to discuss about the fundamentals of SQL. Okay. So SQL, what is SQL? The acronym of SQL is Structured Query Language. Okay, the acronym of SQL is Structured Query Language. Basically, it is a query language, not a programming language. Okay, so what actually SQL is? It is a standard query language which is used to communicate with the relational databases, which are systems that will store data in the table format. Okay, like in the form of rows and columns. So in that manner, the data will get stored. Okay, so as a BA, why should we learn? Okay, so here we will use the SQL queries to perform the task like to update the data, to insert the data in the database, or else to retrieve or else to fetch the data from the database. Okay, for those kind of activities, we will use the SQL. Okay, as a BA, we need to have this knowledge on it. Okay, so as a business analyst, mostly we won't work on it. Okay, like as a BA, we need not to develop the code for the databases, but in some cases in few domains like any banking or finance or any other domains, BA might work on it. Why? Because like so to retrieve data from the databases, right? So relevant to extract the particular data whatever we want. So for that thing, like we use SQL queries to retrieve data from the databases. Okay, and here to learn SQL, okay, we need to have one platform, right? So here we use like SSMS platform. So SSM, the acronym of SSM is SQL Server Management Studio, where it is a free integrated environment which was developed by the Microsoft and which allows us to manage, access, and interact with the SQL Server databases. So using this SSMS tool or application, we can create and run the SQL queries. So also we can export database structures and create and modify the objects. We can also generate the reports and manage the security as well. And also we do have the benefits of like a backup and restoring the data. Okay, whatever we have worked on. So why SSMS is useful? So this SSMS tool, it will be easy to connect the local or remote SQL Server databases, and as well as it will be like user-friendly interface with the syntax highlighting. Okay, even though if any error is there, like it will highlights to the users. Okay, and it is great for learning SQL and practicing the queries like as a beginners. Okay, so and the next is like terminologies of SQL. So in SQL, like a few concepts are there. So first one is like data. So what does it mean? Like in SQL, like everything will be related to data, right? On the data to manage the data and to store the data only, we use SQLs. So data is nothing but it refers to the raw facts or figures like numbers, text, dates, which represents the information. Data is nothing but any information about something. So that we call it as data. And what does database means? Database, it is a structured collection of data. It is a structured collection of data which can be easily accessed, managed, and updated in the database itself. And this database stores data in an organized way. This database stores the data in an organized way or in a structured format so that users can retrieve and manipulate the data efficiently. And this database will be used in everywhere such as banking, healthcare, e-commerce, education, etc. Any domains. Okay, like to store any kind of data, we use the databases which will be accessed and manipulated efficiently. Uh, and moreover data model. So what is data model? Data model is nothing but which defines how data is stored. Okay, how data is stored, connected and accessed in the database. Data model defines that how data will be stored, connected and accessed in the database. So it is just like a blueprint for designing a database. Okay, before creating the databases, we use the data model, which is used to know how data is going to store and which model we should use for the like project based on the need. Okay, so here total there are four types. Total there are four types of data models. So which you can see here data models. So first one is hierarchical data model. Total we have four types, right? First one is hierarchical, and next one is network model, and third one is ER model, and the fourth one is relational model. Okay. So while coming to first one, first data model, which is a hierarchical data model. So in this data model, data will be organized in a tree-like structure. Okay, data organized in a tree-like structure, so which ensures the parent child relationship, or else a road child. Okay, like here you can say road, which means it ensures the like a parent, and then subsequent data will be in the child format. Okay, that's how this data model will get implemented. And the next one is network data model. Network data model is nothing but it will be more flexible than the hierarchical, which allows the multiple relationships. Okay, each and every data record will get connected with the another another data record in the model. Okay, so that's how network model will be there. So the main disadvantage is here, if one record get deleted, or any other issue happens with that, so other records, other data may get affected. Okay, that's the disadvantage over here. And year data model, entity relationship data model. So in this entity relationship data model, data is stored in the form of entities, and these entities will be related with each other. Okay, so here whenever you use the entities, for example any customer, anything, so for that entity we do have the like attributes are like so these attributes defines the characteristics or properties of the particular entity. Okay, for each and every entity, so it should have the like a some characteristics or properties, right? So to define that we use the attributes. So each and every entity will be related with each other. Okay, so there will be any relationship among those entities. Okay, that's how the here data model will get implemented. And while coming to the fourth one, which is currently using by all the organizations, so like a relational data model. So here relational data model, in this model the data will get stored in the form of tables. The data will get stored in the form of tables. So what is table? What table, in the sense it is a two-dimensional structure which in which data will get stored in the form of rows and columns, right? So data is stored in the form of tables, and which uses the keys and constraints, means the few rules can be applied on those tables to store the like data, right? So here if you observe here, like this customer is one table and orders is one table, and these customer ID, name, email, these are the like properties, means like columns in that particular table. And while coming to orders, this orders table, in that orders table we do have the order ID, order date, customer ID. So these are the columns in orders table. Got it? These are the columns in orders table. So how these two tables are internally connected with each other? So if you observe here, for the customer ID in customers table and the customer ID in orders table, it is represented with keys. One is PK, means primary key, and in the orders table if you observe, FK means foreign key. Okay, so this is by using few keys, like it ensures the relationship between the tables in the database internally. Okay, that's how data will get connected with each other. Okay, so most of the organizations are using this data model, this relationship data model. Okay, And here and the next thing is like we do have like if you observe here DBMS and RDMS. So DBMS is nothing but database management system, and the RDMS is like relational database management system, whatever we discussed just now. So that we call it as relational database management system, which means like it ensures the relationship between the tables in the database. Okay, so we will discuss it in the further slides. Okay, so coming to the SQL fundamentals, so here using SQL, as we discussed, by using SQL, we can perform some tasks, right? We can update, we can insert each and everything. So that comes under these operations, like CRUD operations or CRUD operations. You can pronounce like that, CRUD or CRUD. So C stands for create and R stands for read or retrieve. Okay, read or retrieve, and U stands for update. D stands for delete. So here as a BA, like what accesses we have, like what kind of task that we can do. So here as a business analyst, we can retrieve the data or else we can read the data from the databases. Got it? So that's the purpose. As a business analyst, we do have at least knowledge on the SQL, like how it will be there, what is what. Okay. So mostly here business analyst mainly uses this or like read or retrieve the data from the databases. Okay. So here like the main differences between the DBMS and RDMS. Okay. So before dive into these differences between DBMS and RDMS, let me explain you one scenario so that with that scenario we can map the differences between the DBMS and RDMS. Okay. So imagine a person who walks into a supermarket to buy the vegetables. So if all the vegetables such as tomatoes, potatoes, spinach, etc. are randomly mixed in a single large basket, okay, which are those vegetables are randomly mixed in a single large basket, okay. So the person would find it difficult, right? And it will be a time consuming to locate the to find out the specific vegetables what actually he need, right? So here it would require going through the entire basket, and which leads to inefficiency, right? So now consider an organized setup. Okay, now consider an organized setup. So the supermarket places each type of vegetable in separate labeled baskets. Okay, each type of vegetables are labeled separately in different baskets, like tomatoes in one basket and potatoes in second, like spinach in third, and so on. So this arrangement makes it quick and easy to identify and as well as to access and pick the required items with the minimal effort and time, right? It will be like less time consuming. So it reflects the importance of the structured data storage in the databases. So if we map the scenario like this scenario with the database, like difference between DBMS and RDMS. So consider all the vegetables are in one basket, right? Means which is unorganized. So if we relate these two databases, like there will be like unstructured or poorly designed data, like in a file format. Okay, like in the file format, like on or basic DBMS database management system, and and one more thing, like vegetables organized in labeled basket, right? So this is the second one. So vegetables organized in labeled basket, which ensures the well-structured tables in the RDMS, right? Each and everything, each and every data will be separated and labeled differently, right? So hard to find the required item means if we map it to the DBMS, then it will be like if we use DBMS, then it will be difficult to retrieve specific data efficiently, right? So all the data is at one place, so that would be difficult to find what actually we need, and it will be also like time consuming. And if we consider the organizer setup, then it will be like it ensures the easy navigation and retrieval of the data, right? So which means in if we use RDMS, then it ensures the fast query performance, and data access is also very smooth, right? So that's how we can differentiate the DBMS and RDMS. So let's say DBMS stores the data in the files or navigational forms. So if we consider the data models, okay, if you consider data models, see how so hierarchical and network models are comes under this DBMS. Okay, like see how hierarchy in nature, one in another folder, like that. Okay, so each and everything in the data will be stored in the form of files. So whereas RDMS, the data will get stored in the form of tabular format, right? Like in the rows and columns format. So in DBMS, there will be no relationship between the data or tables. So whereas in RDMS, tables are related using the primary key and foreign key, as we discussed earlier. So data will get yes, this recording is available. Okay, even I'm recording this session. This will be available in the YouTube. Okay, no need to worry on it. You can refer from the YouTube channel. Okay. So while coming to DBMS, here this DBMS is suitable for the small organizations where they are handling the limited data, and in RDMS, like it is designed for the large scale systems where we can handle the large volumes of data. So generally DBMS supports only one user at a time. Only one user can access that at a time. So whereas RDMS, it supports the multiple users simultaneously. Okay, multiple users can access it at the same time. Multiple users can perform the task what actually they need the same time. Okay, and in RDMS, like more data redundancy due to the lack of relationship. So data will get duplicated. Means the redundancy is the duplication. So there will be more redundancy in the DBMS. So whereas in RDMS, like redundancy will be minimized by a normalization. Like few advanced concepts are there. So normalization, which is used to prevent the redundancy of the data. So this DBMS, like if we say in simple manner, so this DBMS, like it is a file based and no relations and single user focused, right? So in RDMS, it will be like relational, everything will be related with each other, and it is like well structured or organized and multi-user friendly. Multiple users can use this at the same time. So if we say DBMS, the system like a storage form will be like in XML in the sense extreme markup language. So those are the files. So file system and like CSV and MS Access files. Okay. So whereas in DBMS, like MySQL, PostgreSQL, and SQL Server, Oracle, SQLite. So these are the relational databases. Okay. So here today we are going to discuss one of the like relational database management system, which is the SQL Server. Okay, SQL Server, that like SSMS is there, using that like we are going to use that SQL Server. Okay, so what actually the SQL can do? What actually the structured query language can do? So by using SQL, as we discussed, we can execute the queries. Queries in the sense like questioning. Okay, questioning to the database. Okay, whatever we want, we will ask in the form of questions, which we call it as query to the database, so that we can get the output from the database, or so that we can get the result from the database. Okay, so that's what we can do, and also like we can retrieve or fetch the data, and we can insert, update, delete, the data from the databases, and also we can create the databases as well. Okay, we can create the databases. Inside the databases we can create the tables, so that we can ensure the relationship between the tables in the database. Okay, and SQL can create the store processors in the database. Store processes in the sense, for example, uh, without user intervention. Okay, without any user interventions. So if you want to develop the like functionality which will automatically updates when an event occurs. Okay, so at that time we use the store processors to ensure that automation. Okay, so that's how store processors will be useful. And SQL can create the views in the database. What is view? View, it is a it is also form of table only, but mostly these views are a part of the table. Okay, so if you have a table with the 50 columns. Okay, for example, if you have a table with the 50 columns, so here if you want to create the part of table. Okay, if you want to create the a part of table, so that we use the views to select the few columns from the table. Okay, to select the few columns from the table, so then we can use the that part of table. Okay, so that's how views will be used. And SQL can set the permissions on the tables, processor and views as well. So we can also set the permissions. So means like we can grant the permission to access it with the another users. Okay, so that's how we use. These are the things we can do while using the SQL. Okay, structured query language. So tables. What is table? Yes, Rajesh. Let me complete this theory session, so that after that, I will explain each and everything. It'll be in the practical session. Okay. So let's listen to the concept. Without knowing the basic fundamentals, people not understand, right? Even though if I run the queries, so that's the reason. Let me explain with all the fundamentals of SQL, so that I can explain the remaining commands or queries, and I can run the uh, queries as well. Okay, I will explain each and everything. So while coming to table, as we discussed, table is nothing but two-dimensional format where data will get stored in the form of rows and columns, right? So in SQL terminology, the row will be called as the record. Okay, the row will be called as record, one record in the table. Okay, row, the entire row. So if you observe here, like ID, name, like location, state, pin code. So these are the columns in the table. So these columns we call it as a field. Okay, as according to the SQL terminology, so this column will be called as field. And this, if we for example, if row, or consider if you have like 4 Alexandra, Wisconsin and WI 4585. So these are the data in different columns, right? So if we come on horizontal part, we call it as row, right? So that rows, according to the SQL terminology, we call it as record. And whatever the vertical part is there, like ID, separately ID. So ID will be like field. Okay. So that's how we can differentiate the rows and columns, and records or fields. Okay. And then here, if you observe, so this is a sample example for how tables are uh, related with another tables in the database. Okay, so this is the database for the retail store. Okay, this is a small retail store. If you observe clearly, so here customer is one table. Okay, here customer, and this is the one table, and item is one table, and sales is one table. So in the customer, if you observe, we have fields, ID, customer ID, customer name, state, city, pin. So these are the fields. if we come to records, one Will Smith. Okay, so each and every data will be related to particular customer. Okay, this entire record is about the particular customer, right? Particular user. So that's how we can store the data. And here you can see, if you observe here, like key symbol, it represents the key symbol. What does it mean? So here this customer ID is a primary key. Okay, so primary key is nothing but which uniquely identifies each row in the table. Uniquely identifies the each row in the table. So if you use primary key in any table for the particular field, so then it ensures the uniqueness. Okay, where we can't store the duplication of data, or else we can't store the data without entering like without leaving as empty in that particular column. Okay, so we need to enter the like particular data in that specific column. Okay, and well, coming to item table, here also item ID is a primary key which ensures the uniqueness and which uniquely identifies the each and every row, and the name, item description as well. Okay, so this table is related to products, right, or items in the retail store, and this table is related to the customers, like each and every user data. So whereas sales table, if you observe sales ID is also one of the primary key which ensures the uniqueness. Okay, and item ID is one of the column in items table, right? Customer ID is one of the column in customers table, and quantity and price, these are the related to the sales table only. So here if you observe clearly, so these two columns are related to different tables in the database, right? So how we can read the data? Okay, how we can understand this data? So in the sales table, so these item ID and customer ID, these are the foreign keys. These are the foreign keys which refers to the primary key in another table, which refers to the primary key. If you observe, so this refers to the primary key in customer table. Sorry. So this customer ID refers to the customer ID in customer table, and this item ID refers to the item ID in items table, right? So that's how like these foreign keys refers to the primary key in another table. Okay. So here in foreign keys we can have the it can contain the duplicate values as well. Okay, unlike the primary key, it allows the duplicate values as well to store the like multiple. Yeah, like while creating the sales table, Shiva, while creating the sales table, we can give the names like that. Okay, we can give the names like that, but like while we are like ensuring the relationship between the two tables, so we should add the syntax. Okay, like syntax will be there. According to that, the tables will get related. Okay, we should give the reference for that reference column name at the time while creating that sales table. Okay, so that's how we can modify the column name. Okay, and here how we can read the data. So while coming to sales table, the sale ID is 1. Okay, so item ID is 1. Item ID, what is the item ID? Item ID for that product name is camera, and description is 64 MB. So who bought this item? Customer ID 2. Who bought this? Sean Smith bought this product. Okay, what the product? What is the product? Camera, right? So Sean Smith, what is the location of Sean Smith? Like Tampa, and city is FL. The pin is 90011. So this is the customer data which reflects over here. Okay, and quantities like how many products that he bought? 3 cameras. right? 3 cameras, and the price will be 90,000, right? So this is how we can read the data. So similarly, the sale ID is 2, and the item ID is 2. Item ID 2, what is the item ID? Like memory card, right? Who bought this? Again, Sean Smith bought this camera, right? What is the state? Like here you can see the customer data, right? And the quantity and the price for the product, right? So that's how we can read the data. Okay. So to execute, like how we understood, how we read the data. So if you want to represent it in the if you want to display that data, okay, we use the join statements. Okay, these are the advanced concepts. Join statements will be used over there. Okay, so to retrieve data from different tables at once, we use the joins. Okay, which ensures the which joins the tables, which combines the data, and then based on the condition, whatever we present, whatever we give while writing the query, so based on that, it will gives the output to us. Okay. So that's how a data will be connected internally. Okay. And SQL commands. So what is SQL commands? By using these commands, these are the sub languages of SQL. Okay, sub languages of SQL. So we do have DDL, DQL, DCL, DML, and TCL as well. Okay, total we have 5 sub languages. So before that, I want to explain one thing: data type. Okay, so what is data type? Data type, it it ensures what kind of data that user should give. Okay, so this data type will be applied to each and every column. That data type will be applied to the each and every column. So for example, if you observe over here, ID. So in ID, each and everything will be in the numbers, right? So in the name column, you can see all the text related, like characters or words, right? So in the pin also you can see the number. So how we can make sure that it stores the particular data, that it stores the specific data format, so that we can ensure in using the database data types. Okay, data types. So in the name itself, like what type of data that user should enter. Okay, while saving or inserting records in the table. Okay, so we do have different data types that we use for different purposes. So first one, let's say okay, character. The full name is character. So the name, the predefined name is char, char or char, and here in it defines the size. Okay, how many letters or alphabet that we should give. Okay, while entering while saving the record in the table. Okay, so if you observe, it will be like pixel length. Okay, pixel length string, like we can define how many characters that user should add, and as well as here in characters, let's say only the alphabetic data we can store if we apply char data type on the particular field. Okay, only the alphabets we can use, we can store. So here you can say sample syntax for that. And for example, if you took size of 10, so if I use only 5 characters, okay, then the remaining space it fills with the empty spaces. Okay, here a space doesn't defines the emptiness. Okay, space is also one of the character. Okay, space is also considered as a character. Okay, it is not the empty. Okay, and the second one is varchar, like variable characters. Okay, which means like we can store alphanumeric data. Alphanumeric in the sense alphabetic data as well as numeric data. Okay, both we can use, both we can combine and we can store it. Okay, Yes, I will explain each and everything. Let me just give. So these are like I'm explaining, like I am introducing all the concepts. So let me explain each and everything. No need to worry about that. Okay. So Varchar, if you use like a mail ID, mostly it will be used in the mail ID or employees like that. Okay, mail ID if you use like special characters also will be used like at the rate and dot will be compulsory, right? So if you use like your name dot like somewhat domain and at the rate gmail.com like that, right? So all kind of these characters will be used. Okay, if you want to insert like that kind of data, so we use varchar data type over there. Okay, and if remaining space is there, so it will adjust the size to that size. Okay, it will adjust the whole size to that like whatever you had entered. For example, if you enter the like 50, if you had given the 50 limit for that particular column, so if you use it only 10 characters though, so remaining size will left over, right? The leftover size will get adjusted to 10. So that's how it will works. And int here we can only store only the numeric data. Okay, like without decimal part. So if you want to store a decimal parts, like we have decimal. So inside the brackets we do have the precision as well as the like a count or like scale in the sense like how many digits that we want to store. Okay, after that decimal dot operator, so how many digits that it should present, that it should represent, that also we can decide over here. So if you observe the syntax here, decimal in the brackets 10. So before the dot operator we can store the like 10 digits of numbers, and after that only it should represent the 2 digits. Okay, and float in the sense it is also like related to decimal part only, floating points. Okay, and it will defaultly consider the approximate values. Okay, so if you use decimal part we can decide the scale after like how many digits that we should represent. So if you use float, only one digit will get represented after the this like dot. Okay, and date data type, so it only stores the dates. Okay, like any date of joining like that, so at the time you can use this. So here if you observe the syntax like year, month and date, so in this format it will get stored. And the time, this time data type will be used whenever we want to store the time as well. So hours, minutes and seconds, in this format it will get stored. So if you want to comment both date and time, we use the date time data type. Okay, it stores the both date as well as the time. Okay, so this is how it will get stored. So now while coming to sub languages, so we discussed earlier, like we do have this 5 sub-languages, right? So one is data definition language, DDL. So this data definition language, which is used to define or to create or to modify databases or table structures. Okay, and we do have the few commands. One is create. Create. Create command is used to create the tables or databases. Okay, in the server. And here if you observe the syntax, create table, and we need to give the table name. And in the table name we do have the columns, right? We do have the columns. So for that column, each and every column we need to apply the data type, then only it will consider, it will decide what kind of data it should allow while entering, while data is getting entered by the user. Okay, so that's how we can give the number of columns, and we can also apply the constraints as well. And the next one is alter. Alter is also to modify the like existing tables. Okay, we can add the extra column after creating the structure of the table. Also we can remove the those columns. Okay, each and everything we can do. And drop command is also to delete the entire table. Okay, delete the entire table or database with the structure as well as the data in the tables. Okay, and truncate is nothing but it removes all the records, all the data from the table, and the structure will not get deleted over here. The structure will not get deleted over here. Okay, and rename is used to rename the like table name and database name. Okay, and while coming to DML, data manipulation language, so in the name itself, these commands, these sub language commands will be used to manipulate the data which is already existed. And also if you want to add the data also, we can add, for that we use insert command to add the new records. And if you observe syntax, like insert into table name which is already existed, into the table name we are going to into the table we are going to insert the records, right? And then update, so update command is used to update the records which are already there in the table. Okay, and delete command is used to delete the single row. Okay, a single row in the single record from the table. Okay, and DQL, data query language. So query language, the name is suggests like query, questioning. Okay, by using select command only, we'll question to the question against to the database whatever we want. So that based on that conditions, whatever we ask it, based on that only, it will provide the data. Okay, it will fetch the data from the database and it will provides in the form of output. Okay, and select command will be used to retrieve the data. Okay? And DCL, data control language, which is mainly used to provide the access, okay, to control the accesses and giving permission to the users who can access the database. Okay, so mainly this will be used by the database administrator, in which, in short, we call it as DBA, database administrator, who have the authorization to grant the permission to the users so that that users can access the data from the databases. Okay, and so they can modify it. And revoke means like undoing that permission, like revoking removes that permission whatever he granted to the another users in the organization. Okay, and next is TCL, transaction control language. Transaction control language, it is mainly used in, for example, in any banking. Okay, if you are using any phone pay, Google Pay, or the ATM, or whatever it may be, like transaction purposes. So for each and every transactions, like there will be commands which is used to save the transaction or else undoing the transaction. Okay, for those kind of activities, like these commands will be used. Okay, this command, the transaction control language, these commands will be used. So if we use commit, okay, so then all the changes whatever we had done, okay, whatever the updates are there, that will get saved permanently. Okay, so for that we use the command and the rollback. So if you want to undo the transaction, even if any issues or obstacles occur, so then we use the rollback, okay, to undo the particular transaction. And then save point, so save point is nothing but it is for like partial rollbacks, means, so these changes will get saved temporarily. Okay, temporarily will get saved. So until and unless we use commit command, then only like those all changes will be saved temporarily only, right? So whenever we use the commit, then that changes will get saved or stored permanently. So before using commit, so it will be in the like draft. Okay, so we can use the save point whenever if any like obstacle occurs, whenever any issues occurs, then we use rollback to undo the changes up to this save point, up to this mark. Okay, up to this save point, we can undo the transactions. Okay, and set transaction where it will like begins the transaction, like that operation will get activated. Okay, so if you observe here, for example, like it begins the transaction, and then one query is query is run. Okay, and here in this query, like it is updating the salary of the particular employee whose ID is 102, right? So here save point before so here till now we didn't uh, commit, we didn't use the commit command, right? So here this will get saved, and if you use save point here, so again one transaction, one query is executed. Again one query is executed. So here also salary is get updated like for the different another employee whose ID is 103. Okay. So if we want to undo this action, if you want to undo this action, this particular action, then we use rollback, where it is like up to which transaction it is getting undoing. So roll back to before else. So roll back to save point. So only this plan, the only this query, this operation will get undoing, right? So this is already saved. Okay, only from only up to the save point mark only this operation, this rollback will get works. Okay, so that's how we can use. If you use commit, then it will get saved, means it got deleted and it got saved, this transaction got saved. Okay, so that's how we can use. Okay, so those are all explained in the PPT itself. Okay, so and the next is SQL Server Management Studio. So where we can use this tool to execute the commands or queries using the database. Okay, so how to get this tool, how to install this tool? So here here you can see, once you navigate to the YouTube channel, go to the YouTube and search as COEPD, and then you will get the channel over here, business analyst. Okay, this channel like which you are maintaining, so please subscribe it. Okay, please subscribe it for getting notifications, or if any new recorded session is updated, okay, uploaded in the YouTube channel, then you will get notified so that you can refer it. So for SQL installation and setup, here you can search like a SQL server installation, you can search over here. Okay, then you will get the video, first video here. If you observe first video, right, SQL server installation and configuration, like each and every setup and each and everything was explained here very well. So please refer this video to install that tool, and setup also you can just set up as well in your system. Okay, so that's how you can install, you can get the this tool in your system so that you can practice it. Okay. That's all. That's all you will get the like tool. So after getting the tool, you can start working on SQL. So here, after successful installation of your system, you can search in the taskbar, like you can see SSMS, you can type it as SSMS, just you can see over here. So click on open. So this is the interface you will get once you open the tool. So this is how our interface looks like. So it asks you to connect to the like the server. Okay, then only you can work on it. Okay, so click on connect. So it is connecting to the my local server. Okay, not the server. This my desktop name, right? Laptop. This is the like local server. Okay, not the like uh, SQL server. So here in SSMS interface, we do have the three main parts. First one is Object Explorer. First one is Object Explorer. This we call it as Object Explorer. So this the like here you can see in the left side. So which is used to navigate all the tables, databases, views, storage procedures, and any management works. Okay, each and everything you can see over here. Okay, so this was the one last time it was created, and so here where you can create the databases and the tables as well. And so how to create the database? So just select it and right click on it. Okay, right click on it. Here you can see new database, right? New database. Okay, new database. So you have to give the database name over here. Like here I'm giving like SQL awareness or else SQL demo session. Okay, after giving the name for it, click on OK. Okay, click on OK. Then you can see the SQL demo session database is created. Again, right click on it. Then you can see the new query. New query. Okay, so click on that. Then again you can see one interface. Okay, then again you can see one interface. So which we call it as query editor window. This white space, this workspace, we call it as query editor window. Okay, so where you can type and you can run the SQL queries as well, where you can type and run the SQL queries. Okay, so here database is created, right? So database is created. So let's create one table. Okay, let's create one table. So here I want to clarify to you one thing. So this SSMS tool is case insensitive. Okay, so case sensitive, what is the difference between case sensitivity and case insensitivity? So case sensitivity is nothing but like treating uppercase and lowercase as different. Okay, treating the uppercase and lowercase as different. For example, uh, COEPD is not equal to COEPD. So this is the case sensitivity. Okay, these both are different. Like SQL language, it consider like few platforms considered as the different. Okay, so similarly, here any other example like ABC equal to ABC. So here it is case insensitive. Okay, so here by default it will consider both are same. Okay, whereas is case sensitive, these both will get like it will consider as a different meaning. Okay, so that's how case sensitivity and a case insensitivity means. So in SSML, this SQL will works as a case insensitive, means it works like this. Okay, even though if you give like for example, Ramesh is equal to RAM. So this both it will consider as same only. Okay, both will be considered as the same only. Okay, so that's what a case insensitive means. Okay, also we can make it as a case sensitivity, but it can be case sensitive. Like we can change it to the configurations as well while setuping. Okay, So let's create one table over here. Let's create one table over here. So just use, you can use the same syntax as over here. Yeah, syntax is there, right? So just I'm copying the syntax and here I'm pasting it. So here I'm giving the comment as okay, comment, okay, slash asterisk and then asterisk slash, okay, and then asterisk and slash. So this ensures the comment, okay, like this query editor like will not consider it as a query, okay. So it will be like comment for understanding purpose only, okay. So let's use this table, let's use this syntax to create a table. So create table, table name is employees, I'm giving it as employees. So in that I'm giving it as a employee ID, okay, employee ID. So ID I'm giving it as a data type int, and then like first name, okay, like here I'm using the varchar, okay, you can use the, or else you can use the char as well, but here I'm giving size as like 10, okay. Only the alphabet data we can store in this column, and last name, last name. So for this also I'm giving it as a char, okay, and then email, okay. For this I'm varchar like I'm giving it as a 15, okay. So that's all for right now, okay. So let's select this and click on execute, okay, then command will get executed. So this whatever you can see, this major command completed successfully. So this space, okay. So this entire space we call it as like results pane, okay, result pane, okay. This we call it as result pane. So where it will provides you the displays the query up query output in the table format or in messages. So whenever we execute any query, whenever we execute any command, it will shows the message, or else whenever we want to retrieve the data from the database or table, then it will provides you the like output in the form of table, okay. So let's discuss all those things. So here one table is created, right? So like for example, if you want to see the table, select star asterisk, we call it as asterisk, ASTRIEK, asterisk we call it as, or not the star, asterisk. Select asterisk, asterisk, it ensures the like it will select all the columns without mentioning all the columns names in the table. So it will select all the columns. So or else if you want to select the particular column, okay, like this also you can select, okay. Or else if you want to I want to select all the columns at once, select asterisk from employees, okay, this is a employee tab. So select the query and click on execute, then you can see the table structure, employee ID, first name, last name, email, these are the columns we have, right? So let's insert one record over here. Let's insert, like insert into table name. What is the table name? Employees, like what is the table name, what are the columns we do have to insert the so here we have insert, right, like command, let's use the syntax as well. Okay. So employee column name, what is the employee like email employee ID, comma, first name, comma, last name, comma, email, right? So values, what are the values you are going to enter? Values for employee ID, one comma, like, so here we need to enter the character or where character data or date in the form, like it will be given in between the column. Okay, these columns, single quotation marks. Okay, so then only it will consider as the like a particular text. Okay, like that it will consider. And ID, first name, last name, and then email, right? Email. Okay, and so let's execute this query. So here email, here I given size as a 15, right? Here I given size 15, so it is exceeding that limit, so that's why it is not considering like that. So that's why it is showing the error message. Okay, if you click on okay, then not pane, pane, result pane, like panel or like that you can consider. Difference between char and varchar is char in characters we can store only the alphabets, whereas in varchar we can store all the special characters like at the rate, dot, like underscore, like that, dollar symbols, like that. Okay, yes, we can use here this slash asterisk and asterisk slash, it ensures the like multi-line comments. So if we use hyphen hyphen, okay, that ensures the like single line comment. Okay, yes, results pane, yes, that's correct. No, no, we are creating database, right? That's why. So we can directly connect to the live server as well. Like, okay, we can directly connect to the live server. But here practice session, right? That's why here I'm connecting to the live database. Here, no, no, we are not generating any reports to. Like, it is better to remember that command. Like, then only we can write the queries, right? Like, where for what action, what command will get used. So for that, we need to know what for the commands, right? So that's the purpose we need to remember this. So to insert any record, to add the new record, we use the reinsert command. For that, we should follow the syntax, right? So that's the reason. So let's create the let's add the new record with the same details, but here I'm changing the only the name, only the name. Here I'm changing the only the names, but ID is same. Okay, so let's execute this. Let's execute this. So so here what is happening in any organization? Do we have same ID for the different employees? Do we have like that? No, right? Here I'm getting employee ID one and one with the other employee details, right? So to prevent from this data duplication, we use the primer key, okay, which uniquely identifies. Okay, so for that, let's delete the entire table. Okay, let's delete this entire table and create the new table. Like for that, we use the drop command, drop command. Okay, so here you can see drop, it is used to drop table. What is the table name? Employees, right? So here I'm dropping that, means deleting the whole table. Okay, command successfully execute. So if you want to see that table whether it's deleted or not, say and select this command. So invalid object name means like that particular column got deleted, right? So let's create the same table again with the primary key. Okay, see what happens. Let's see what happens. Same table. I'm just utilizing the time. So for that I'm copying and pasting it. Create table employees employee ID with I'm adding the primary key. Okay, primary key. Okay, primary key and first name last name as well. So if you I'm removing this. So here I want to add the like a department, which department it is from. Department I'm using as a varchar 10 and then salary like decimal I'm using. So here I want to show the precision of that, like how many digits. So for example, like 10 digits or else like 7 digits. Okay, 7 digits comma like only I want to show as a 2 digits after the decimal part. Okay, and then and date joining date date of joining. Okay, I'm giving it as a date data type. Okay, so let's see. You can't see all these things, right? Just a minute. Let me put this. So now it is okay, right? So just select it and click on execute. Now command get executed. Select as start from like employees. So let's execute this command and click on execute. Then you can see employee ID, first name, last name, department, salary, and date of joining, right? So let's insert the record. Okay, let's insert, use the same over here, same syntax over here to insert that. Insert into employees table. Okay, insert it to employees table of like columns of what we column names we have employee ID and then what we have first name, right? And last name and then department and next we have salary, right? And then date of joining, right? So values like employee id is one, for example I'm giving it as a 101. Okay, and then first name it is like John. Okay, and comma John Doe, this is the last name of him. And then like department, which department is from HR department. And then salary like 50,000. Here I'm not giving like I'm not entering the decimal part after the dot, like how much I should represent. I'm not giving it as let's see what happens, how it will represent. So date of joining like 2023, 1 and 10. Okay, so let's insert this record, select it and click on execute. So then one row got affected. All right, so let's see. Select start from employee. See how employed is not one, and first name, last name, department, salary. So in the salary, if you observe, like after the dot, after the period operator, then you can see 2 digits, right? Like it is a scale. Okay, after the dot operator, like how many digits it should represent. Okay, so even though if I'm not giving this, like it is already considered like that, right? So that's how we can give. Okay, so here most of the data types are covered, right? So that's why I have taken this example. And similarly, let's insert the another records. Just Control C. So for example, let's see, I'm just removing of a few things, changing these things. See, so if I want to execute this, let's see what happens. Click on execute. So then you can see one error message. What does it mean? Error message is nothing but like it is a primary constraint. So in the ID, while creating the table for the employees, here you can say primary key. We had given the primary key for the employee ID column, right? So here uh, you can see cannot insert duplicate key in the object. Cannot insert duplicate in the key in the object means, so in this particular employee ID column we can't insert the duplicate values, which means employee ID should be unique. Okay, in any organization, like employee ID should be unique. That's why here I'm giving it as a primary key to ensure the uniqueness of the particular column, which uniquely identifies each and every row in the table. Are you getting me? So that's the reason, like here, this is the purpose. I entered the, like, I want to execute the with the same employee ID again. So you got me right? Like, what is the usage of primary key, right? So let's remove this. So this is the let's remove. Even though if you store like with the same column like employee ID, it will not get stored. So previously, so wherever here at given, right, here I didn't mention the primary key for this employee ID column. So at that time, like I had given like one, so it got stored. It got stored in the table. If we use primary key, it is not allowing me to enter that, like, it is not allowing me to store that kind of data with like duplicated data, right? So that's the difference between them. Okay, so that's how we can use the primary key. So this is the one kind of syntax. Okay, so let's use another syntax to insert the records. So same syntax, but so, but here need not to mention the column names. Directly we can give the values over there. Okay, that's how also we can give. Okay, so I'm just copying this and I'm removing this. Values of like 102, like Jane Smith. Okay, and the domain is from IT, and the salary would be 65,000. Okay, here I'm mentioning it as like 00. Okay, after that so even though if I give more than two zeros, see how it will consider. So the date of joining would be like 2022, and then the 11th month, and then 15th date. Okay, let's see what happens. Select the query and execute it. See how it is. So even see how data date is like how old salary is entered, right? It only consider the two digits, right? So that's how we can. So here I'm entering each and every record like at once, right? So if you want to here I'm entering, I'm adding the new records, like only single record at a time. So if you want to add multiple records at the same time, then use you can give like this, for example, yeah, let's use this. For example, here I'm inserting multiple record set at a time. Okay, so after that I'm giving it as a values. so that here I'm giving like multiple records, right? So ID 103, okay, and names alias, and what is the domain, like finance domain, and the salary is 60,000, and then date of joining would be 2023, like any date you can give, okay, and after that you should keep the comma, okay. So here again same format, like 104, like name or something, any name, okay, and then you should give the any name like this, and domain as well, domain you can give the banking, okay, and salary would be what it is, and then date 2021, okay. So let's see, if I want to select all the like multiple records, right? Two records. You can give more than two records as well. Okay. For example, here you can see the count of how many roads got affected, right? So if I execute this select sort from to retrieve, see 103 and one both these two records are got stored at the same time, right? So that's how you can give multiple records at. So this is how you can add the new records in the table, okay. If you want to add the records like single record at a time, you can use this, okay. Or else if you want to uh, enter multiple records at the same time, then you can use like this, okay. So here comma should be must, and comma is must and should. Why? Because like, so it will separate the like records, okay. It will separate the record. So for example, let's say let's see what happened. Just a second. I want to show you one example. See how it will 104 or 105. Okay. So here I'm not giving the date over here. I'm not giving the date. See, will it consider or not? Okay. Why I'm changing employee ID here means like it shows the uniqueness, right? If I give 104, then it would consider. So to change that, I am giving it as a 105. So click on execute. So here you can see column name or number or supplied values doesn't match the table definition. So whenever we are creating the table name, like creating the table, defining the table structure, we are giving these columns, right? So whenever we are entering the data, if it get matched with that columns, all the columns, then only it will stores the data. If not, it will not get stored. Okay. Mm, So So here you can see here I'm updating the record. Okay, I'm updating the record. So I'm setting employee ID whose ID is 102. Here I'm changing his salary from 65. Previously how it is there, previously 65,000, now I'm going to change it to 70,000, right? So here I'm applied the condition so that it will reflect on the particular record only. Okay, unlike the applying this condition on other records, it will, here I'm specifying the condition as well. Okay, so here are the data got changed, right? So if I want to see how it got changed, right? So this is how you can change the records. Okay, and if you want to alter the table, okay, or if you want to add the extra column to the existing table, okay, so then you can use the alter command. Alter, right? So alter, this is a syntax I'm going to use. Syntax is nothing but like a structure, like rule that we need to follow. Okay, so then only it will get executed. So like alter table, alter table employees, add email, okay, with the varchar, the data type of varchar, by like 20 I'm giving the size. Okay, so let's execute it once. Okay, execute it. So one command got so here you can see email as a null, like everything was empty, right? If you want to update it, you can, like you can use the update employee set email equal to email ID, where employee ID equal to 1, or else first name equal to 1, like that. So let's do once, let's do that once. Set set email, set email equal to where employee equal to one row got affected, right? So see, like the data is getting updated or not. So yes, that mail ID got updated over here. See, so that's how you can uh, also that's how you can use the update command. Or else if you want to update the mail ID, like a reference mail ID at using the first name, like first first name equal first name equal to like allies. Okay, so if you want to update this, you can. Okay, see how it got updated. So let's see, is it updated or not, right? So this is how you can update after adding the column to that. Okay, or else if you want to change the data type, whatever you are given, like while table creation, if you want to change it, then also you can also change that. Okay, so to modify that, you can use the alter table, and again alter column. We are adding, like we are modifying the column, right? Column, which column? Salary column to the float. Previously it was in decimal, right? It was in decimal. So here we are going to change it to like float data type.
Okay, click on OK. Command executed successfully. So if you see here, if so see like float like it got changed like after the precision, like after the dot, like we don't see anything, right? So that's how we can give. Okay, that's how we can change the data type for any column. Okay, and let's see. Let's delete the record. Let's use the delete command. Okay, for deleting, we can use this command. Okay, so this is the syntax for it. So we should apply this like where condition it applies on the specific record. Okay, so we want to remove any data, like for example, delete from table name. What is the table name? Employees. Where employee ID equal to like where what like 104. I'm going to delete the record of the employee whose ID is 104. Right? Execute. So then see is it deleted or not? See, it got deleted, right? So that's how we can use the delete command. And if you want to remove all the records at once, if you want to remove all the records and uh, the table structure remain constant, then we use the truncate command, right? Truncate, truncate. Where is the truncate command? Okay, truncate command. So truncate table, table name. What is the table name? Employees, right? So just select it and execute it. So let's see whether all the records are got deleted or not. If you execute, see all the deleted got deleted. So if you want to drop, you know already drop how to use the drop table name, right? Drop here I want to delete like entire table structure. Okay, drop table name. What is the table name? Employees. So gonna execute. So it got deleted, right? So if you want to check whether deleted or not, okay, execute. See, invalid object. Now this table got deleted successfully. Okay, this is the difference between delete, drop, and trunc. Delete is mainly used to delete the single record or like single record from the table. Truncate is used to delete all the records at the same time without deleting the table structure. And drop is used to delete the whole table. Okay, it completely deletes the table along with the columns, all the columns and its structure as well. Okay, so that's how we can use this. Okay, so this is how we can use these commands. And moreover select command like so in SQL the entire part like entire logic will depends on the select only. Okay, select command only. Select is mainly used to retrieve the data, right? Select is mainly used to retrieve the data from the databases. And if you want to select the entire data, then we use the asterisk, it's like this one star, right? Or else if you want to if you want to get the data or if you want to retrieve the data from the particular column from the table name, then instead of using asterisk we can use the like first name or like we can use the column name. Okay, okay, so this also you can get the particular data in the specific column in the table. And if you want to filter the data like if you want to retrieve data by applying some condition, okay, then you can use the like select star. Okay, select asterisk uh, So this table is not existed, right? For just sample purpose, I am using like table name, and where, okay, where like department ID equal to like department name equal to like HR department, like that. Okay, so this also you can show why it is showing error means this table is not existed, right? So that's why it is showing like that. Okay. And the next concept is like a few like one of the advanced concepts like primary key and foreign key. So let's see in detail about this primary key and foreign key. So primary key, you know all that which uniquely identifies the each row in the table, and it must be like whatever the data that you are going to enter into that specific column, that must be unique. Okay, it doesn't allows the null values. Okay, it doesn't allows the null values, and it doesn't allows the duplicate values. And the purpose is to identify the records uniquely and within the table. So this primary key will be defined in the parent table. So as we discussed on the PPT, so just a second. So these are the right. We already discussed it. These are the primary keys, like visually represented, right? So these two are in both parent tables. Okay, primary keys will be given in the parent tables. Okay, whereas in sales table, this would be the like a child. Okay, these foreign keys will be defined in the child table. Primary keys will be defined in the parent table. Okay. And whereas in foreign key, it refers to the primary key in another table, and well as the can contain the duplicate values. Okay, can contain the duplicate values, and it can be null as well. Okay, it can be null as well until and unless we give the restriction for that, like, or else we are applying the constraints on that. And it also maintains the referential integrity between the tables, and mostly this foreign keys will be defined in the child tables. Okay, so let's create the tables. Okay, let's create the two tables, and let's uh, ensure the relationship between the both tables. Okay, so like whenever we are uh, creating the tables, okay, yes, yes, primary key will be in the parent table and foreign key will be in the child table. Yeah, so here let's create two tables and to ensure the like relationship between them. Okay, so let's use the syntax here, like first of all let's use the like primary key and foreign key. Okay, primary key and foreign key. So create table departments, create table departments with column names like department ID, and here I am giving a data type as int, and I'm ensuring the like primary key, and department name. department name, then giving it as a varchar of size 10. Okay, let's execute this. Okay, let's execute this. Table was created, right? Let's see, select star from departments. See, one table is created with department ID and department name, right? So let's insert the records. Okay, let's insert the records into this table. Okay, insert into table name. What is the table name? Departments, values of, like, what is the department ID? I'm giving it as a HR, like this one is HR domain. And then again, here I'm using the multiple records. I'm going to store multiple records at once. Department ID. Another one is like IT department, and then third one is like same. You can use it like finance. Okay, so I'm going to store multiple records at once. Okay, click on. Okay, so here you can see, right? So 3 rows got affected. Let's see. See, HR department, IT, and finance. So for these department names, these are the IDs, department ID and department name, right? So, and let's create the another. Let's create the another table. Okay, which ensures the relationship. Okay, so use the same syntax for foreign key as well. Okay. So create table. So in the organization, different departments are there. For those departments, like we do have the different employees working in those departments, like employee ID, like, and primary key and employee name, care of, like 10. I'm giving it as a 10. Okay, and the department ID, with the data type of int. Okay, and then I'm giving it as a foreign key. Foreign key, which ensures the relationship. Foreign key of department ID. What is the department ID? Which references to the which refers to the departments table. Departments table. So in that, which column? Department ID, same ID, right? See, here, this foreign key, this is nothing but this column. These both are same columns. It refers to this one, and here we are ensuring the relationship with this department ID. This is references to the which are created in the previous one, right? So these are the domains, right? So let's say if you observe, So this is referring to this one. Okay, this column is referring to department ID in departments table, department ID in departments table, and for to which column it is maintaining the referential this department ID in which table, this department ID in employees table. Okay, so we are creating the relationship between the two tables. Okay, so here this department ID will be primary key, which will be created and defined in the parent table, and this is the child table. Okay, this is a child table. This employees table will be child table, departments table will be the parent table. Okay, that's how I created the relationships. Okay, so let's insert the few records or few data in the employees table. Okay, insert into employees, values of example like ID. What is the ID? 101, and employee name would be like lice. And then what is the department ID? Department ID, I'm giving it as a 2. Okay, and then comma, here Bob, and department ID is 1. Okay, and then again comma, I'm giving it one more record. Name is Roy, and the department ID is 2. I'm giving us 2. Okay, so here I'm giving only 3 records. Okay, see, let's execute this. See, let's execute this. First of all, we did we created this? Like let's create on it. See, now a table was created, and let's insert the all the records. Click on it. Now 3 rows got affected, right? Now select from employees. Okay. See, 3 rows got affected, right? So here department ID is like 2. As he working in like department ID. What is the department ID? IT. So Alice is working in IT, and Bob is working in HR department, right? And our Roy is working in like same IT department, right? So that's how we can read the data. So similarly, if you consider here we explain, right? Here we got understand like how we can read the data. So as we discussed earlier, we use the join statements. Joins will be used. So let's write one join query. So here I'm using the query like select employee ID. Select employee ID, comma, employee name, comma, department name. Okay, from which table? From employees table. Okay, from employees table, join. Okay, I'm using the join query here. And which table I'm going to join? Departments table, right? Where here I'm going to apply join departments down. Where department ID in department ID in department table. Okay, equal to department ID in employees table. Okay, so if you observe here, it is showing an error. Okay, while comparing the values, okay, it is showing an error. So to remove that error, like we should define the column names differently. Okay, here department ID in both the tables are same, right? In the employees table as well as the departments table, the column like department ID column name is same, right? So that's why while we are going to compare it, it is showing an error. So to remove that, we should add the objects over there. We should add the objects over there. So we should add the objects over here. Okay. So for example, for employee, I'm giving it as employee. Okay. E. Okay. And for departments, I'm giving it as a like D. Okay. These are the objects. So where I should apply over here. Okay. For employee table. Okay. E dot. Okay. Then it got updated, right? It is showing now correctly. So and for department in which table department we have in departments table, right? Departments table we also, so here data is combining from the both tables, and it is like giving output in the like all the data together, right? So d dot, okay, d dot department name. So to differentiate this comparison also, we should give, so employee department ID in employee table, and you also comparing the IDs, department IDs in the department table. So let's execute this. So how it will shows the, see how employee ID and employee name. So this we have in employees table, right? Employee ID, employee name, and department ID is there. But instead of that, we got the name or department name column. Where department name is there, like in the departments table. So here two tables are combining together, and it is comparing itself, comparing internally, like based on this condition we applied here, right? So where employee ID, where department ID in employee table is equal to department ID in departments table. Okay. So if we give ID 2, then it will reflect to IT domain. Right? If we give one over here, if we give one over here, then it will reflect to HR domain, HR department. If you give 2 over here, then if you give 3 over here, then it will reflect to finance domain. So that's how. So here in the output, if you observe here, we had given two related to IT department, and one is HR department. I again two is like HR, right? So that's how here we can conclude that here in the foreign keys, the foreign like this child table, we can give the um, duplicate values. Okay. And in the parent table, in the parent, for the primary keys, we shouldn't give the duplicate values. We can give the unique values. Okay, so joint statements will be used to command the tables and to get the data from the both tables at the same time. Got it? So these are the like advanced concept like joint statement. Like we do have the like more joins, different types of joins we have. So this is the basic concept about joins. Okay, so this is the thing. That's all about the SQL awareness session, like where we had learned all the fundamentals of SQL, how to access, how to use it. Okay. So we need not to prepare any kind of data, just already prepared data is there, right? On that prepared data, already stored data on. So we use this SQL to retrieve the data from the databases. Okay, for different purposes. Okay, we don't work on it. We don't write the code to implement the SQL. Okay, so it will be done by the developers only, but we should have the knowledge how to retrieve the data on it. That's it. Okay. So yes, I will share this document. No need to worry. I will share this document. I will share this what document with you. Okay, you can refer it anytime. Yeah, just a second. Let me share it.